Welcome, everyone. Hope you're having an awesome Monday. We've got a nice crew today, and we're going to be talking to you about how to turn your listings back into leverage in a buyer's market. I know we've now shifted into more of a buyer's market throughout the whole United States. There are pockets, though, that are crazy sellers markets right now. So not everywhere is the same. Today, I've got some friends of mine, Jim, Brian, Travis. Jim, quick intro, just so people know who you are.
Sure. Jim Black, been doing loans for about 25 years, passionate about helping families make big decisions around wealth and real estate. And thanks for having me on.
Thanks. All right, Travis, how about you?
Travis McClure with Easy Home Search. Been in the real estate industry for 10 plus years, now in the tech industry, which has been an interesting transition.
Nice, man. Brian.
Hey guys, Brian Tutt. I'm a producing branch manager with Fairway Mortgage. Been in the industry since 2001, so going on about 24 years. So yeah, appreciate you having us on.
Oh, you know a little bit of what's going on, man. You've been through it. All right, so when it comes to this shift that we're experiencing, I'm watching some agents absolutely get killed, and they're suffering. And on top of that, we have barely over 4 million transactions year over year, which is like we're scraping the bottom, guys. How do we shift into a market to be able to help out buyers using the product that we're talking about here? Because creativity, unfortunately, isn't something agents are the greatest into shifting to quick enough. Who wants
Absolutely.
to take it?
I'll start off. You guys are cool with that. So right now we know that there are a lot of transactions where the sellers are not being realistic on the price, and buyers want to buy something at a discount of 20% off because the market's crashing. So we have to find innovative ways to help families bridge those gaps on big life events. If someone's downsizing or upsizing or getting divorced, or maybe they have a big job opportunity across the country, we have to find ways to help create that solution to allow them to buy before they sell, or make a big life decision to transition into before they've settled other things that they have on their plate. So with that topic, we're talking today about strategies around helping families buy before they sell, leveraging listing agents to help them understand, and buyer's agents, where they can find more value and create more escrows and more happy clients.
All right, that makes sense. Now, if I'm going to start this from scratch and saying, "Wow, I've never even heard of this concept," right? Or I've never tested it out, which you're going to find a lot of agents haven't. Where do we start with this as an agent, as a team, or as a brokerage? We're going to go to you.
Well, yeah, no, I can take that one. Yeah, no. We have at Fairway, we have a product called Calc that's a buy now, sell later product. It talks exactly what Jim was just talking about. It gives the opportunity for our buyers to buy while it's still a buyer's market, and then be able to move and sell later. Now, the biggest challenge that we find with buyers right now is that not a lot of us can handle 2 mortgage payments at the same time and qualify, right?
True.
The other thing is that a lot of our equity, our capital, is locked up in the equity of our current home. So that is a couple of problem statements that we leverage this product to try to solve. This product allows us to, based on Fannie Mae guidelines, be able to mask the current departing residence payment. So we don't have to include that in the debt ratio for buying the new home, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing is, with the market right now, one of the hardest things to do is buy a house with the contingency. So it removes that barrier of having to buy with the contingency, because we can now be able to qualify the new buyer to buy on their current house, and then allow them to have some time to get out of it, get any repairs done, spruce it up, make it more attractive to sell. But they still get to take advantage of all the buyer market opportunities today.
All right. So Brian, with that, if I'm looking at it as doing this as an agent, how would I market this to sellers best? Because I find that I'm going back to the creativity part, right? If I don't fully understand it, where do I go? Number one, to understand this, and number two, how do I use it in my marketing? Are you looking at mailers, social, Are you just, do you just have the knowledge enough so that when you have the conversations, it pops up and you're like, oh, I can use it here. How can we best use this?
Well, obviously, hopefully your local lender has access to a product like this that you can talk to, and they can educate you on how to market it. But what I would tell you, and what I tell my agents, is when they're having that conversation with the buyer, right, to let them know that, one, figure out their goals, but let them know that if they are looking to move before buying, that there is an option that they can make that easy transition.
Okay, I kind of like this. I hadn't thought about this before, but if I'm sending out postcards, all right, if I'm sending out postcards to my farm area, and I'm going to use like PropStream or whatever product to identify the possible sellers based on equity, right, and based on time on home, then I can say something like, you don't have to sell your home to buy the next one. Let us show you how. Something along those lines. I think that would make a lot of sense, right? Or buy your home first, sell later, right? Okay.
Absolutely. And everyone's got their equity tied up for their down payment in their property, right? So the tough part is people want to do something, but they're just stuck and they don't know that the solution exists. And agents are sometimes fearful to not really want to bring complicated things into the mix on things, right? They're trying to get a listing signed to help someone make the move. Well, teaming up with guys like Brian or myself across the country, you can have that conversation be approached differently to make sure that they are understanding of all the options available. And sometimes it's a very powerful way of connecting together, just like Travis and I would do on the real estate lending side, right? Just trying to connect those two conversations together and let the client or customer know that they're being taken care of correctly by the right team, basically.
All right. So Andrew brings up a good point. It says thinking about selling but worried. Dude, that would be it, Andrew. I'd be like, damn it, I don't know if I want to. So what if I don't find the right home? What if I don't sell my house? There's a lot of worries. So that makes a lot of sense. There's a question by Carol. Let me post this one up so we can all read it here. Good morning from Las Vegas. What's up, Carol? How much time would a buyer have to sell and what's the fee? Let's just get right into it, guys. How does this thing work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question. So the way this program works is they have 5 months to sell in this program. And here's the great thing. If they don't sell within 5 months, the program will actually purchase the property from them, keep it with the listing agent to continue to sell after that. So the listing agent does not get abstracted from the product or from the opportunity. They actually stay with it. But the cool thing is with the 5 month mark, it also relieves the client of any monthly liabilities after that point as well. So it's not just an ongoing thing.
All right. I have a question on that. If it doesn't sell in 5 months, the company buys it, right? Mm-hmm. What price do they buy it at? Is it a pre-agreed upon price or at the sale price?
No, that's a great question. They write a cash offer for whatever the balance is on the property, right? So let's take an example here. I have one that's worth about 500 that I have in my pipeline right now. They owe about, let's just say 100,000 on it. Now, I am actually helping them get some of the equity out of it at this time, and so they're going to get another 100,000. So the program will write a $200,000 offer for that property. And that kind of ties into the cost as well, which is really good about this. A lot of these programs are based off the sales price for the fees. This program is based off the offer amount. So in my example, the $200,000 balance that they're going to carry between their first mortgage and the line of credit we're getting for them, that is going to be the offer amount, and it's going to be 1% of that amount. So in this case, $2,000.
Perfect. Repeat that in fifth grade language, please, ChatGPT.
So yeah, it's basically the offer and the purchase price they're going to buy it at is the offer amount of the balances that they have remaining on the property.
Okay. Well,
and I just put that in the chat, by the way. Just simply put, it's $2,000 plus 1% of the offer price. So, for example, we want to have the lowest offer price we can because we don't want the fees to be as high as we can. And like Brian mentioned, if the borrower had $300,000 of debt on that property, to satisfy the underwriters or loan side of their next house, we need to make sure the offer is at least $300,001. Because if they're going to be upside down on our offer, that takes into consideration that payment again. So we got to make sure that we're $1 over their existing liabilities, and it's 1% of that plus $2,000, which is really about 45% less than competitors.
Okay, so a few questions that I have, and then somebody has here. If somebody could put in a phone number, if they have a question, they could call directly, right? That's number one. That's going to be important for some agents. But number two, my question is this similar to Open Door, or like, how do we differentiate here? Because I'm thinking Open Door a little bit.
So the biggest difference there, and sorry, I'm talking a lot, but I just have a passion for this. Open Door will buy your property with no upside to any party's post-acquisition. So Open Door buys your house for, let's say they bought it for 80 cents on the dollar, for example, to do it quickly and create a convenience. Any upside that they make off that, they keep. With Calc, if we give the borrower up to 5 months to sell their property, if they don't sell it and we have to purchase the property as Calc, then if we go to sell it, I'm not Calc, but if we were, the difference is basically, the difference goes back to the consumer for whatever the price difference was above the offer price and any closing costs that are included. So both the real estate professional and the consumer have peace of mind that if there's a higher value that's given post their sale, they still get that benefit back, which is really nice. So it's really good peace of mind, and it benefits the consumer always, which is way different than the competitors who like to benefit themselves with the risk of buying something at a discount.
I love that. Andrew, we put up the link there so you can contact Calc directly. So guys, I'm new to Calc. So how does it work? Like, would I go to a specific lender that works with Calc, or do I go directly? How does that work? Whoever wants to take that.
Well, I'd probably toss that to you, Jim. I'd say give me a call. I got access to Calc all day long. So.
Everyone, give Brian a call, please. Brian, just put your phone number. They'll probably have a
So the way it works, and Travis knows this too on his side, because Travis has a lot of great partnerships. Calc will white label, which means they will create your own unique link with any real estate partner or lender. The reason why they can do that legally.
Wait a second. They can make me a landing page for the product specific just to me, so I can attach it to whatever I want. Be like, hey,
exactly.
Wait, so then going back to my question to Brian, or my comment when I was like, hey, I could use marketing and mail this out with a QR code. That QR code could then land in this landing page that Calc created for me, and it captures the information. Who does it? Okay, so then who does that lead get sent to? Does it get sent to Calc? They explain all the questions and then I get the benefit? How does that work?
Great question. So Calc is neither a lender or a real estate company. That's very important to know. So there's no RESPA compliance constraints or any type of a risk there with that. So Calc will create a white labeled version for you, Tristan, for you, Travis, for you, Brian. All the contacts will go directly into Calc, but transparently, the agent and the lender will be there through the entire journey of that communication so that everyone's empowered to be on the same page. So from day one, the first question intake form says, who is your lender? Who is your real estate professional? Those people are then included in every conversation, every part of that journey. So all those people are together to make sure they give the right advice.
Got it. Who can walk me through this process? Because Lou, I have the same question. So which one of you is going to walk us through this process? Like we're fourth graders. Forget fifth grade. I never made it. Okay. It's fourth grade now. Take me through this process, please.
Who wants to try that?
Yeah, shoot, go.
So what we typically do on my side is I'll talk to the client. I've obviously have an application working with the new buyer. I'll put their information into Calc. I put all their information as far as their current home, the status of their home. I get everything kind of pre-filled out for them. I'll submit it into Calc. Calc has a representative. We have 2 that we work with directly on my team. They'll reach out to the client, follow up with them to just confirm their age, value, status of the home. They'll also set up and Jim, keep me honest here. You guys don't do, y'all do an AVM, but you also do a video walkthrough with the client just to have them walk through their house, make sure that there's no leaks or showers in the den and foundation cracks or holes in the walls, that kind of stuff. And then once they do it, you guys go back, you'll do a calculation. You'll look at some online sources that you have to determine the value. Is that right? And then once you determine the value, they usually will go, their offer amount will extend up to roughly around 70 to 75% of the value that they came up with. Okay. And then that's what they write their offer amount for, is at least up to whatever I put in there, or at least up to 70, 75% of the value. But that's the cool thing that Jim mentioned before, is it's very customizable because the cost is based on the offer. As I mentioned, just because they can go up to 400,000 on one of my properties, but I only need 300, I can work with my representative just to keep that offer amount down, to keep the cost down for them as well.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to share my screen. Thank you, Brian. That made more sense to me here. Let me, I'm going to share my screen just so that there are a few questions. Andrew, you're where I am, so I'm answering my own question with this, okay? Let me go back to my screen so you can see. I want you to go to Calc, and it's spelled CALQUE. And I want you to go just slightly to the bottom. It'll explain it right here. Super easy. You can literally actually make a postcard from this. This is great. Right here. Here are the 3 things. Easy. And then you scroll down, and then it'll give you what it does on the right-hand side. That's how
There's a whole segment for agents also, Tristan. If you click on the agents link above, you'll have a flow of the entire transaction.
Perfect.
And you scroll down a little bit more, and you'll see there's the steps right there, how simple it is. So the client first gets pre-approved in 5 minutes. They then have a purchase price guarantee as step number 2, where they can feel comfortable and confident that their lender, Brian, can help them. And then number 3, they can move into the new property. And number 4 is they then sell their current home. So again, it's creating transparency, peace of mind, and comfort. And Calc's team is around 24/7. They're available, and you get assigned with a customer service a person that walks you through, that has experience. One of our main people, she's been in title and escrow for 25 years. So she's really good at communicating to all parties what's going on in a very simple way.
Dude, this would be a great postcard. Look at this, how it works. This is the front of the postcard part of it. This is good. I like this. Easy.
If you click on the Let's Connect button too, you'll see that on the right side there, Let's Connect. This is where a consumer would put in their address and all their information, and they'd be able to talk to someone. You can see speak with someone right there live. They can email, whatever they want to do right there on the spot. With that address that gets verified, then Calc's team goes to work on their proprietary AVM software to allow them to have some more ability to get things done quickly.
All right, so then that would also be on the landing page that Calc creates for the agent. And now
exactly, it's in your colors, it's in your disclosures, anything you want on there, your DRE number if you're in California, your NMLS number if you're a lender, it's all in your colors. So we do these customized because it's about creating results for the local professionals. The difference between Calc and every other company, from Homeward to HomeLight to you name it, they are all national companies that have real estate and mortgage licensing. They may be not your competitors today, but the simple fact that they have licensing creates the fact that they have your data and they could potentially be your competitor down the road. Calc's approach is to be your partner. They know that the local professionals are truly the ones that make the biggest value difference and impact in their communities.
I have another question because Carol is, by the way, there's a lot of questions. So that means that this is good. It's a good question. Carol says, I'm just going to pop it up here. Can any lender work with the buyer or only Fairway?
It's. I'd like to say it's only for Brian, but it's for every lender.
Brian, everyone send everything to Brian.
You're more welcome to call me, but I'm not. Sorry, I'm nothing special here.
That's funny.
So what we do is Calc is approved with every major lender. This is really a binding contract, and what that means is basically Calc is going to buy the property in 150 days if it's not sold. Calc's offer can be replaced by another offer, but it is a binding contract. And that binding contract allows any lender that follows the government regulations to know that they cannot have to count their current debt and they can use this product. So again, your favorite local lender, your favorite local real estate team, Travis, in the Carolinas, or Jim Black in California, or Brian in Texas, wherever. Those are the ways you want to look at it all. And we are in 48 of the states. We're not in Hawaii or Alaska, but this product is live and up and running, and deals are closing in 48 states. So the states that we mainly do business in.
All right. And do you have a loan officer and agent program?
Brian is a great example of that. Brian is a fantastic partner of Calc, where he's offering this to all his local agents, and he can work with his own clients too. So you can do it as a co-branded site if your company compliance allows for that, or you can have it be your own. That's the beauty of this whole thing with Calc, is it's truly built to support the local professionals, because Calc knows that's really who has the most value and expertise in the process of one of the largest decisions. Travis, are you seeing this across the country too? Because you represent a ton of real estate teams. Does local make a difference to you?
It does. And one thing that kind of jumps out to me, especially, on the front side of listing properties right now, Jim, is you have to bring options with you. It's not the traditional game of, this is how much your house is. We're going to put a sign in the yard. I'm going to host an open house. It's a very complex market. And I'll give you a quick story that relates is, I sold a home to a woman in my sphere 2 years ago. She wanted to live in this neighborhood. We had to mail letters to find her a house in this neighborhood. We found her the house. She turns out she has a family situation that's going to sell. She's now entering the market, one of 13 homes on the market, right? So obviously there's a lot of things we need to do on the front end to make sure this house stands out amongst 13, but also because of her situation that she's in, we have to bring her options. And that's where something like Calc is amazing, right? Because she needs to move somewhere. If you have a traditional cash offer process, nobody loves that cash offer, right? Like the cash offer is never, usually 9 out of 10 times they don't take the cash offer, but you have to bring something like that to a listing appointment with you to regulate and kind of anchor that price around, that conversation around price, to get them down to like, hey, this is what they think their house is worth. This is what it's really worth. And this is what the cash offer is. But I love an option like Calc because it's another option, right? Like if the house isn't selling or they have the anxiety about where I'm going to go next, I think that's the main reluctance people have, is that anxiety of wanting certainty about their next move.
Absolutely. Or they have maybe animals or special needs, or they don't want to move twice, or they have, they got to get the house really touched up because maybe it's been not updated for 32 years, right? All those things allow you, Travis, right, to be a better resource and probably get more value for your client. And again, with the peace of mind Calc offers, if Calc has to buy it and they sell it for more minus their closing costs, then that consumer is getting those funds back. So it really is a really good peace of mind and assurance, not insurance, but assurance that they're making a good decision, and that if something drastically improves in that period of time, they can get a benefit from that. Maybe someone walks in to your listing, Travis, and has a suitcase full of cash and it's $50,000 higher than the offer. An offer can be replaced at any point in time by a better offer. So it doesn't have to last 150 days. I'm not sure, Brian, if you've had examples of that, maybe only going 20 days, but that's a difference.
Well, I'll say to that real quick. I do have an example where, and Calc's team, I'm telling you, is phenomenal. They work really well with the agents and the clients. But I know that no agent listening here ever has a problem with the client taking their advice on what to list the property for. I'm sure all the clients know best, right? That they want it X dollar. But I have an example last year where a client was I'll say being a little stubborn with the agent, wanting to market their house at a much higher price than the market was suggesting. And of course, the agent was doing everything they could, open houses, everything. But the client just wasn't coming down. And no matter what the agent was talking to the client about, as far as what they need to list it, they weren't listening to them. Calc jumped in with our representative, paired with the agent, talked to the client as well. And between the two of them, because when it gets to that 5-month mark, right, they go ahead and exercise the offer to buy it from them. They'll still sell it, as Jim said, give them all the proceeds from the sell, but they're going to sell it at market. And once Calc started pairing with the agent, the client started listening, and they were able to get it sold at the market price before the 5-month mark. So it saved the agent a lot more headaches than having to just handle it by themselves.
That makes sense. There's a question that one of you can answer, because some people may be thinking it. Nicole's bringing it up. Good question, Nicole. There has to be risks for an agent who recommended this product and it flops in the end. This would only be valuable in a hot market. Is that true? False? What's going on?
It would be if it was a single transaction, like an Open Door or someone like that, right? Maybe because those people don't give the, again, benefit of any upside back to the consumer. When Calc makes an offer, it is a binding contract. The property does go pending. I noticed that was another question on the chat. It does go pending under an MLS, so it is a pending sale. Escrow is opened. Deposits are made by Calc with no contingencies of any kind besides the inspection at the end. So just be aware that is a binding contract. So Calc has to perform. Calc has the ability. They've done over 250 transactions so far. They have the capacity to buy a lot of homes. They don't want to buy the home because they want the consumer to get the top dollar that they can get with their local real estate professionals.
You know what's clear to me? That I knew people were going to not be clear on this, which I love, because that means there are more questions. When I first talked to you guys about Calc, I was like, this is really cool. But like in my world, not a lot of us know about it, and it's going to be confusing the first time. So we're going to have to continually show up, because there's some really great questions here. And Steven, what's up, Steven? Didn't see you there. Do you offer fix and flip as well? Great question. I don't know the answer, guys. Fix, flip, do you guys do it for that?
You can get a line of credit from your departing residence to do things. You can use a line of credit from a departing residence for cash out, for improvements, or for down payment on the next property. Just work with your favorite local lender like Brian or whoever it is across the country. There are options to do a takeout loan on your current property to do those improvements, or maybe touch up the property. You can use those for down payment on the next property. It just depends on what your situation is and what lender you're working with is. But all those options are available. So you can use it for any of those things at all.
All right. So along those same lines, if I'm thinking like just a quick offer on something, can an agent bring in it's a question from Travis. Can an agent bring in an offer to a listing appointment with them as an option? Kind of like what Brian was saying, hey, have some options here, right? Here's option 1, here's option 2, here's option 3. Can that happen, guys? Is that something that you recommend?
Absolutely. If the agent's prepared, if Travis wants to present an offer, they would just need to have the form filled out prior to that. Give it about 24 hours. That way they can walk in with a few different options, let them know a traditional way of doing a transaction, selling before they buy, then looking at a buy before you sell option, and maybe it just gets them off the fence to make a decision, right? Our goal as professionals and advisors is to help people make good decisions. So Travis could have that information, Brian could have information, I could have information. And remember, it's only one cost, 1% and $2,000 on the current property offer price. There's no costs that go into the next property. It's only the current property at the amount Calc is offering. There's not duplicate costs. It's only one side, 1%, $2,000. And that is significantly lower than anyone else. And it's because Calc is a partner. They are not a lender or real estate company. And that is a big differentiator for everyone. As a loan officer, that's very important for me because I want to make sure I work with partners, not competitors.
Got it. Jeremy brings up a good point. 98% of the time, it sells on an open market for full price. That's a big number, Jeremy. Most agents can close on the next home at a big discount. That's good. I like that. All right. So we've got a ton of questions, guys, and I don't know that I can answer them. So I would suggest we're going to do another one of this one. Here's an angle I would like to see for the next one. Whoever's going to be part of this. Jim, you're going to be part of this for sure. So whoever you want to quarterback this to. As an agent, I need to know specifically, so then I can get creative after, how I would use this on a listing presentation, how I would use this on marketing, right? Those are my main two things, and I need to be clear about it. And then maybe next time we start with you mentioned to me, Jim, earlier, I have a flow chart. So let's do this flow chart and then go right into marketing. How do I market this? Because I want more sellers and I want more buyers. Let's do that.
I love it.
And then there's some great questions on here. We're not going to get to them, but everyone else, how do you get them? You just go to Calc. Just visit Calc. It's CALQUE. We put up the scanning code there, the QR code earlier. There it is. It's blocking. There's no more blocking Brian's face. It was blocking Brian's face. Do me a favor, scan that, please. You can go and get all the answers you want from there. I'd highly recommend you start using this or understanding it first. Talk to them, see how you can then maybe implement it into your marketing, because it's pretty powerful, especially if you're struggling out there right now. This is a big solution. And obviously,
hey Milton, this is Travis. I apologize. I'm just wrapping up my.
If you have questions for either one of these guys, just reach out to them. I know Brian wants you to use him at Fairway, so just give him a call. So there you go, guys. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate you, guys. Thanks, Danny, Meryl, Carol, and everybody else. Thanks for being part of this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.